This is the Level Up Podcast. I'm Taylor Petronovitch.
And I'm Kelley Gilster of 618 Studios.
And we are on a mission to help wedding filmmakers and photographers level up their businesses so you can make more and work less.
We want to help you confidently take your business from mainstream to luxury, and it all starts right here. Hey friends, thank you for joining us for another conversation here at the Level Up Podcast. I am here with my girl Taylor.
Hey guys.
I usually say, Taylor, how are you? So Taylor, how are you?
We can't break tradition, Kelley.
I know.
I am great. You guys, we're so excited. If you were a longtime listener, you'll know in the springtime we did something that we dubbed our All-Star Series, where we brought on some of the industry's top professionals, whether that be a photographer, filmmaker, or planner. We learned so much from them, and I feel like it was just a really great time of inspiration, which we wanted our listeners to lead into the wedding season feeling inspired, because I think that results in the best work, the best growth, maximizing the season, all good things. But as we kind of enter this fall season, we wanted to bring just something a new, little fresh and new to the podcast. So this is the introduction of a brand new series here we are doing on the Level Up Podcast. Kelley, what are we calling it?
We are calling it Sip and Tell. We wanted something cozy for fall. We wanted something a little bit more get to know Taylor and I. I honestly, when I think of this podcast series, I think of me and Taylor and whoever is listening here with us all piled onto like a really cozy couch with blankets on and sipping on something like apple cider or coffee, or Taylor has a chai tea that she's sipping today.
You guys, I'm like the most basic fall girl you'll ever find. I like embrace all the seasonal everything, and chai just feels so fall-y. But yeah, I agree. So Kelley and I, we talk on the phone a lot, you guys. Like we do our little walks, or we're cleaning our houses and we're chit-chatting all about business. And if we could tell you how many times we were like, oh my gosh, I wish we were recording this. This would be a really amazing podcast episode. Like I would be rich if you gave me $1 every time we said that. So that's kind of what we're doing this season. Is we are just having candid conversations about life, business, doing it all. And you guys can get a little bit of like insider knowledge, inside scoop. We're just super laid back conversations, casual, but very real, which I love. I'm like all for buttoned up, polished, scripted out things, but I think there's also a time and a place where it's super refreshing to just be real and raw.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. And I think that we kind of started that with our chit chat that we had a few weeks back. And we've had people sharing on their stories of them listening to it, saying that they loved it. So we're leaning into that too, listening to what you guys are enjoying. And Taylor, while people are enjoying the podcast, can we shout out to our most recent review on our podcast, who is actually a former Mastermind student?
Yeah, I think she left this review before she enrolled in Mastermind, which is fun to kind of see like the progression of like podcast listener turned into student, which we love. This review is from Trelawney. She is based in Arizona. We know this now because she was in our program and we have become friends with her since. But she said, finally found some influential videographers that I connect with. Being a mom in this industry can feel very isolating and hard to grow a business. These two motivate me to keep going and give me such amazing educational content to help me scale my business. 10 out of 10 would recommend if you want to receive all and any advice to enter the premium or luxury market of weddings. So thank you, Trelawney.
Thanks, Trelawney. You're the best. And if you guys are enjoying this podcast and haven't left a review just yet, we would love to hear your kind words and what are some of the key takeaways that you get from listening in week after week. And maybe we'll give you a shout out on the podcast too.
Yes.
Okay, so Taylor, first official Sip and Tell. What are we talking about today?
Well, first of all, I have my chai latte. What are you sipping on as we tell it all?
Just black coffee. honestly. I love black coffee. Ever since I did Whole30 like 10 years ago, it totally broke me free from the need for creamer. And Paul and I enjoy and indulging in kind of bougie coffee. So we support a local coffee shop called Hidden House Coffee. If you are a Orange County or Southern California local, they have 2 locations here in Orange County. And Paul is at Hidden House getting a coffee there probably every single day. So we love their coffee. It is so great. I drink it black. But Taylor, I'm really curious because I am actually kind of a chai connoisseur myself. What is the brand of chai that you enjoy?
Okay, so I am probably the opposite. I am not picky whatsoever. I'm the kind of person where if you serve me any drink or any food, I'm just gonna like happily eat it. I have like no picky bone in my body. So right now I think it's like the Chai Escapes K-Cups for our Keurig.
Oh,
So
yeah,
it's
you have a
like,
Keurig.
yeah, so we have a Keurig and an Nespresso. So when I drink coffee in the morning, I love my Nespresso. I get like the larger size capsules. So it's actually coffee is like 7.7 ounces of coffee, but it's like really great and flavorful and it's not like Folgers. But yeah, I love the Keurig just for like quick, like I just use it for like hot water to like make tea a lot, like in the
Yeah.
evenings. And then I love like the fun little K cups that are like hot chocolate for the kids and the chai and blah, 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 blah. So, we just can't bring ourselves to get rid of the Keurig, even though we probably realistically don't need it with an espresso.
Yeah, I was
Um,
going to say you have the Nespresso. And the Nespresso's actually, I can get behind the Nespresso. But we are like the coffee people that's like, we love like a pot of coffee. Like a big pot of coffee is like so cozy to us.
yeah, I know sometimes it does like it's almost like I have to make a conscious effort to like pour that second cup. It's like, oh, maybe I don't need it. But I feel like a pot is just so welcoming and it's like has no judgment.
It's true. Okay, cool.
It's true.
Awesome.
Okay, anyway, so we're sipping and we're telling, and the first topic that we are going to be talking about, which you probably know from the title of this episode by now, but it's basically staying sane as a work from home entrepreneur. And we love this conversation because I feel like so many of us are just, we feel really isolated. And for those of us who are not husband and wife business owners like Kelley and Paul, but even then, like you guys are isolated together in your house. So I'm like a solo entrepreneur, which I think a lot of people are too. And so it's just me and my computer and silence all day, which if you're an introvert like I am, that doesn't bother you probably, but I really feel for our extroverts out there. And I feel like it can probably get really challenging. So we just wanted to talk about how we stay sane, how we don't fall into deep pits of despair during the heights of wedding
Yeah.
season, all the things.
Yes. I actually made notes. So Taylor and I have this like
Ooh.
shared notes. We have like probably like 15 different shared notes. One of them is titled podcast ideas. And so I had seen that Taylor had come in and made some edits of just things off the top of her head. So I saw that was the first one. So I jotted down some notes. So do you want me to start or do you want to start?
I would love for you to start. I'm
Okay,
so
great.
curious to hear what you're going to say.
Okay, here's my notepad. If you're watching on YouTube, I love a weekly notepad, you guys. I actually haven't filled it in this week, but that's kind of a routine thing, which I'll get to. So, number one, to stay insane while working from home as an entrepreneur, I have to keep my house in like decent order. No, I'm not OCD. I'm not like the most like clean freak, but things kind of need to be picked up. I really can't get into a creative headspace and focus primarily on work if I'm sitting in like chaos. So I really do,
Hmm.
like, for me, and I know that not everyone's the same way, but like for me, I need to get ahead of it. I need to reset my home at the end of every night, do my best to kind of wake up to a serene space in the morning, get my head right before I'm doing breakfast in the morning with the kids and it's chaotic and they're getting off to school. And then the kids kind of wreck things all over again in the morning. So then I kind of need to do like a quick reset again. I just really need that before I can like sit down and like get work done. It's the same thing as like, I can't light a candle in my home until my home's been cleaned. Like I can't enjoy the serenity of a candle and the ambience of it. It's kind of the same thing for me. Taylor, what about you?
Yeah. Okay, so this is actually something I struggle with. I have self-diagnosed probably incorrectly ADHD. I know it's like a big thing right now. Everyone thinks they have ADHD, but I really do think I might have it because I just can live in absolute disarray and chaos and I don't even notice. Like I do not
Really?
notice the pile of clean laundry that spilled out of the laundry basket against the hallway wall. Like I just like I become truly blind to it and I don't even see it kind of, you know? So I wish I had that and it's something like I'm working towards and I have to like be super conscientious about like staying on top of. It doesn't come naturally to me, but I have a few things. Like I can't like my sink and like dirty dishes. Like to me that has to be taken care of, but like pretty much everything else like unfortunately. Okay, so you guys, we bought new podcast mics and I had Paul, so Kelley's husband, he just like
I love you telling this story.
So this is literally just happened last night. I just had him order me one because he was ordering Kelley one, and so I sent him my address, and so he had it shipped through his Amazon account to my house. And you know when they like take a picture of the package once it's like arrived on the porch? Kelley sends me this text that in quotation marks she's like, "Clean your porch." What the heck? Kind of, I mean, I paraphrased it, but yeah, we have like the stroller because like we had just taken a walk with like the kids last night and we knew we were walking the kids to school this morning, so we just left the stroller on the porch. There's like chalk everywhere, like drawings, like our doormat's probably like totally like askew and lopsided, and like I kid you not, when I get home like I don't even notice. Like it doesn't bother me, unfortunately.
I was so confused because I actually it was pretty late. I was surprised you were still awake and that you replied. I think it was like 9 p.m. I'm like, Grandma's probably asleep.
Usually I am.
Yeah. So I was kind of cleaning the kitchen and Paul's over there like on the couch. And all of a sudden I just hear, "Tell Taylor to take her stroller inside her house." And I'm like so confused. I'm like, how do you know what's outside Taylor's house? Like that's kind of creepy. It's crap. Stalker status. And then I'm like, oh, it was the Amazon picture where they took the picture. And he's like, "Come here and look at this. This porch is in disarray. Tell her to clean her porch."
Yeah. I wish I had a neat freak tendency and I just don't.
That's okay.
Maybe my kids will be. Maybe they'll go in like the opposite. I mean, okay, so you walk into my house and you're like, somebody lives here, but it's not like I'm more of a clean freak. Like I will not stand for like tumbleweeds of cat hair in my house.
Paul.
or like
so I really don't like
I'm a cleanliness person, not like a neat person.
Okay, yes. So I'm a neat person, not a cleanliness person, and then Paul's like you, which is so funny because I feel like we've had multiple conversations about how James, your husband, is like me, and then Paul, my husband, is like you, which is so funny. And then now we're
Maybe
just
that's
like a
why we
work
get along.
wife.
Yeah, we get along so well because we're opposites, just like our spouses, so it fits.
Yeah. Like I'll go through and I'll like be picking up the house and I'm like, "Look, the house is clean." He's like, no, you gotta vacuum. We gotta like steam clean these floors. We gotta scrub the showers, that type of thing.
Yeah, totally. But I will say, so this helps with me like staying sane. And it's like in the outsourcing department, like I have a cleaning lady come every other week. They're actually really great. They come every other Thursday. So like that forces us to like reset our house. If not like more often, at least it's perfect every 2 weeks because I don't want them spending their time picking up or anything. And then I get that like refreshed, clean, like all of that. And then like over the next 2 weeks, it slowly falls apart. I mean, you guys, we have 3 kids. Like it just,
yeah.
If it was just me living alone, my house would be a lot neater. I'm sure like most parents out there, they can agree. But
I don't know though, because like before Paul and I had kids, so we didn't have kids for 9 years while we were married. So we still kind of like let things get away from us. So I kind of just feel like, I almost feel like the kids have almost made me a little bit more organized because I know how out of control it can get.
Yeah, so I've just given up, I think.
That's funny.
But you guys, what matters is the business is thriving, all right?
The business is thriving, and that's what we love.
I'm getting in my 15,000 steps a day, right? So
Jeez, like, good for you.
Pick your battles.
That actually brings me to my next point, which is to get outside. That's how I keep my sanity. I've really recognized like my like central nervous system is in like a happier place when I've like had sunlight and fresh air and all of that. So I at least try to in the afternoons take myself on a self-care walk. If not, if I don't get it in before the kids get home from school, I'll try to talk one of them into coming with me and I can push them in the stroller. We're coming into spooky season, so we're recording this like mid-September. My son, I don't know where it comes from because Paul and I are not Halloween people. He thrives off Halloween. He loves it. So this is a great time of year because I'm like, hey, Micah, jump in the stroller and we're going to go look for spooky houses. And he loves it. So I think the step count is going to be upped in the next 6 weeks.
I love it. Yeah, I think it's so smart. I mean, I have a walking pad, so it's like literally behind me. This desk that you can see. If anyone wants to like, let me know. It's just legit from Costco. You guys, I'm not bougie. But it's one of those ones that's like hydraulic or whatever. Like it can go up and down, and it's a standing desk or sitting desk, whatever you want. And then I have a walking pad underneath, and like it's my favorite thing to like any sort of like mindless work where I'm not like heavily concentrating. I can do while I'm on my walking pad. And so I answer emails, I'll upload films, I'll like type Instagram captions, I'll cull or do like doc edit kind of work. I don't think I could do like a creative like highlight film edit while I'm on the walking pad. I think it would just be like a little bit too distracting, but I really like it. Like for me personally, like I get really disheartened when I'm like working and my back starts to hurt. So like if I'm just sitting in a desk or on the couch or whatever, like with my laptop all day, like I'm in physical pain. And maybe that's just like part of like getting older. Like I'm 32, which doesn't feel that old, but like I've seen and like heard a lot of people once you kind of hit 30, it's all like downhill from there.
Jeez.
So like I know. Well, and, like you have to put in more effort to stay like not aches and pains, I think.
Yeah.
So I love the walking pad. Like I can easily do like in chunks, like in 1 hour chunks. I'll do like 2 hours on the walking pad at like a 2 to 3 mile an hour speed, which isn't like a ton, but it's a lot more than like sitting all day.
Yeah.
So that really helps me. And then in terms of like the like sunshine on your face and stuff, I totally agree. Like I think that for the people who are listening who live in climates, maybe like the Pacific Northwest, or we actually have some people like in Alaska who listen, where it's either dark all the time or rainy all the time. Like I'm sure you guys know, like the seasonal depression is like very real, and not having like that sun shine on your face like for like too long of like stints in between can like really make you like mentally
Unwell.
suffer a little bit. Yeah, make you unwell. So yeah, I love getting outside, and that's where like a lot of most, I think, parents at my kids' school, my kids are in 3rd and 1st grade, and then I have a toddler too, but a lot of them will do like the carpool pickup, but like I don't like doing that. I like to park and then like walk into the school to like force myself to like, if nothing else, I did that. Even if it's raining, like we always do that. So that's like my designated outside time. And like my kids love to like linger outside of the school. So we're there for like 30 to 45 minutes most days. So it's kind of nice to like have those two things like paired. It's like habit stacking. Have you read the book Atomic Habits by James Clear?
No, but I really need to.
Maybe I'll just lend you mine. You guys, if you're listening to this, I highly recommend this book, Atomic Habits by James Clear. I want to say it like came out a few years ago and it was really, really big in like 2020. That was like the height of the habit game. But basically he talks about how you can easily pair two things, habit stacking, like do one thing that you want to do and pair it with one thing that you should be doing. So it's like you really love crime podcasts. I don't know. I do not like crime podcasts. But you have to fold your laundry. So it's like fold your laundry and listen to the crime podcast at the same time. So it's like you have to pick your kids up from school, but you want to get outside. So pair the two things. You have to edit, but you want to get your steps in so you can stay healthy. Get the walking pad. Like it's good to just like habit stack that way.
Yeah. I think it's so good too to do some internal self-reflection to determine what this list is for you. So we're reading off this list, and a huge thing for me is like, yeah, like recognizing when I'm not really able to concentrate and then backtracking and figuring out why. And a lot of times it's like, oh, this like room is like stressing me out. Like I need to clean it. And then it's getting ahead of those things so that it's not allowing for the tasks at hand to suffer. And then I suffer from like a lot of mom guilt in this arena, but like if I start to notice myself getting like snippy with my kids, like type of thing, I recognize like why. And a lot of times with that, it's like I'm getting snippy with my kids because my work is stressing me out. Like my backlog will like cause me to like not be a very kind human sometimes to the people around me, because whether I try to shut it off or not, it's just always kind of looming there. And then I'm just like, like you guys are stressing me out and I'm already stressed out internally, but it's not even things that are related to you. And then I'm like, oh, I'm such a bad mom because I'm taking my like stress in work onto like the kids stuff. So, and then it all stems from what? It all stems from not being able to get outside. And then I can't like do good work in the editing room, and then not being able to have my house picked up. So it's like, it comes in different layers. It's like the onion that we talk about, like the different layers of that. Where is like the core of it? And then where does it spread throughout your life?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I think that doing whatever. Okay, so I heard this quote on a different podcast like years ago. I wish I could tell you what it was, so you guys could go listen, but I can't remember. But the quote was, do what you need to do to feel the way you need to feel. And I feel like that kind of like sums up what you just said. It's like, what is it right now that like you need, and like make the circumstances around you match that. So for you, it's like the clean house or whatever it is. Like, I think it's so smart to recognize that. I get like really auditorily overstimulated like from my kids. So like there's no way I could ever like even answer an email if my kids are like playing in the background. Like I just like can't. I can't focus on two things like that. But here's something that I did. I've like done my very best to establish like working hours and like non-working hours. So there's always going to be times where your schedule and your life is not ideally setting you up for success, and we all have to work around those things. But I think there's things that we can do in order to get closer to that ultimate goal. So back in the baby days of my business, like for 2017, 2018, I had a toddler. I had a 1-year-old and I was pregnant. And then I had once that one was born, a newborn and a toddler, and nobody was in any sort of childcare. It was just me all the time. And I am the opposite of a night person. I'm a total morning person. And so in that season of life, like I woke up at 3:30 or 4 in the morning a lot of the times so that I could work before the kids woke up. And I did that for years until we put our oldest into preschool, and then I still had the youngest to deal with, and then it was like nap time warrior, and then all the things, so there's absolutely times where your work is going to bleed into time where you would prefer to be spending that time doing personal things, whether that be sleep or showering or reading or whatever it may be that's like for you, that's not work, right? So we have to recognize that. But for me personally, like I've now gotten to a place where my 2 older kids are in school, which is great. It's like from 7:30 to 2, which is a shorter day than what I would probably prefer if it was like I was looking at like productivity on my end. But then we made the decision about a year ago to put my youngest in full-time daycare. And that's like, talk about mom guilt. It's like, I'm home all day working. Like, this is work. Like, this podcast right here, like, this is considered work for me, right? And for you too, Kelley. Like, so, but I set my schedule up so that now I am working I give myself a little bit of time to work out in the morning. So I am working between the hours of 9 and 2. That's like non-negotiable. Like, I'm working during those times, but then I don't wake up at 4 in the morning anymore unless like it's a crazy crunch time, like getting something done for like a short period,
week
like a
or
week.
something.
And then I don't work after my kids get home unless like a client has requested a meeting in the evening, which is like really, really rare. And that's helped me so much. And talk about like stress about a backlog. I don't know what's happened. I used to always carry anxiety and stress when I felt like I was behind on turnaround time, or if those films were just stacking up and I was like, oh my gosh, like I have eight in my backlog, that just like gives me anxiety. I don't know what's happened, but I just like feel totally at peace now. Like it'll get done. Like I know I'm gonna get it done, and worrying about it isn't gonna make it go any faster. It's like it's like road rage. Like just because you're yelling at the car in front of you doesn't mean like traffic is gonna flow any quicker. Like so I don't know what it is. I feel like maybe
Yeah.
when we recorded that episode last year with Charlie Hilbrant, where it was like, you guys should go check it out. Just like scroll back like 30 or 40 episodes and you'll find it. But there was a time, Kelley, when you were telling the story about you were like up in the middle of the night nursing one of your babies and you got an email from a bride like asking like, when's my film gonna come? And you're like, this doesn't matter. Like in the grand scheme of things, it just doesn't matter. And so
Yeah.
I'm like trying to adopt this mindset of like, if I'm not gonna care in 5 years from now, like, so it's 2024. If in 2029 it's not gonna matter, then like it shouldn't carry too much weight, like enough to like cause me anxiety right now. Like that
Yeah.
bride who's getting her film 5 days late, like she's not going to care in 5 years and neither am I. So
Yeah. That's so true. That's so good. I know Paul's like constantly trying to like cheerlead me in like not caring as much. Cause yeah, I feel like I go in seasons like that. I should be in a season right now of not caring. For some reason, it's crept back in of me caring, but I don't know. It's hard, you guys. It's all seasons. Yeah,
yeah,
we're actually, I love that you kind of talked about, putting in the work at 4 a.m. because it was the only time you had it. Or for me, like staying up till 1 a.m. editing because it's like the only time that I feel like I can do it. And we're guiding our students right now through our fall mastermind program. We have a group of 50 amazing students that we're guiding through. And there was someone that was in the comments and they were like, they said something on our live yesterday of like, when would I even have time to do this while I am in the midst of wedding season and I'm editing? And Taylor wrote back and said 4 a.m. And I felt like there was a laughing emoji. And it's like, no, we're serious.
but really, yeah.
But really, 4 a.m. Like you can do it. Like we can do hard things. We can do it. For 1 week, if you have to get up and spend 2 hours before, if you have kids to do that, if they get up at 6, you get up at 4 and you start hustling, like how better could your business be because you put in those 7 days or 5 days of hard work?
Yeah, it's like choose your hard. Like you can either do a really hard thing up front to like result in a lot of easy times in the future, or you can have an easy, comfortable time now, but in the long run, it's going to feel hard. Like, there's a lot of things that this can relate to, whether it be nutrition or exercise or putting in the work in your business. And it's just like, choose your hard. Like which version of hard do you want to deal with? And that's a completely unique decision for everyone who's listening. Okay, so this has been a great conversation so far. We hope you guys are enjoying this first episode of this Sip and Tell series we're doing this fall. And now we are actually going to quickly transition into an interruption of the podcast. We put out a call for questions on our Instagram this morning, and we've had a bunch come in. So over the next few weeks, we're going to be addressing each of these questions during this listener question segment that is brought to you by our course, The Luxury Framework, which is our pre-recorded video course that is aimed at helping wedding photographers and filmmakers take their businesses from mainstream to luxury. We've had over 120 filmmakers and photographers go through this program, and the results have just been absolutely incredible, from scaling businesses from $2,000 to $8,000 in just 6 months, to booking their first $10,000 wedding. Our students have been seeing amazing results. We focus primarily on the business side of wedding, filmmaking, and photography when it comes to scaling into the luxury market. So we cover all things such as like etiquette within the luxury market, how to recognize luxury events so you can leverage that information for your own business. We dive into things like branding, website, social media, communicating with wedding planners, setting up your pricing and proposals for scaling into the luxury market. So we really help you bridge that gap from wherever you are into the luxury market. And so many more amazing topics. Our students just absolutely love it. And it's been something that Kelley and I have loved providing for the wedding community. And it is now open for enrollment, you guys, which we would love to invite you to join. You can do that at thelevelupco.com/the luxury framework. It will also be linked in the show notes or in the description box below if you're watching on YouTube. And it's also in our Instagram bio. It's everywhere, you guys. We want you to get your hands on this course. We couldn't be more excited that it is now just open. year round. So whenever you're listening to this, you can go snag it. We encourage you to do so. But without further ado, we're going to get into this very first listener question of the day. And it is by Julia Kedner Films. Hello, Julia. We love you. She says, any tips on how to stay focused and finding your flow?
Yeah, I think that's such a good question. And it's very, on point for what we are talking about today. I have been practicing time blocking now for the last 3 months, I would say. I'm not the most consistent with it. I should be better, but it has helped me tremendously in getting my butt in that seat and getting things done. And knowing that I have a dedicated time for that specific task, because as you guys know, we have a lot going on. Like, I have my time that I want to spend with my kids. I even time block that in. I time block my self-care on when I want to get out for those walks. I time block how much time I want to be working on my business, how much time I need to be spending with our students in our dedicated Facebook group for those who are in our mastermind program. I need to time block time for editing. So it is so great. I think we should actually do a future episode on time blocking specifically, Taylor. We should put that on the queue.
All right. I will definitely add it to our shared note. I think that's so smart because there's so much to be said for predetermined, focus time on different tasks. And I feel like, because I do time blocking as well, and what that does for me personally is it makes me feel guilt-free. So I feel like there's always times where it's like, I should be doing this, or I should be doing that, or worrying about things like that. And knowing that that thing has its own dedicated time on your calendar and you're going to get to it, I feel like for me personally helps me feel more settled and at ease. In terms of getting into a flow state, I feel like we all need to be in a really great flow state if we are going to be putting out our best creative work, whether that be on a wedding day, at an engagement session, or while we are editing. For me personally, it's really basically just putting one foot in front of the other. What I do is I set a timer on my phone and I'm like, okay, I am going to do nothing else. I'm going to open no browser windows or nothing for however many minutes I set. Maybe it's 45 minutes. And then at the end of the 45 minutes, I can continue if I want to, or I know I can get up and walk around and do whatever it may be. So I turn my phone on do not disturb. I make myself not open any browsers and I'm focusing. And I feel like after 10 minutes of actual focus, that flow state comes easier. But when you're constantly being interrupted, whether by your own fault or from your phone dinging or whatever it may be, if you're being distracted, opening TikTok or whatever it is, that flow state just doesn't come. I think you need to 100% focus on what you're doing for it to happen. Yeah.
Set that phone on work mode, do not disturb, all of that, and just get into that good flow. I just put my phone in a different room. Honestly, if I'm I need to sit down and edit for the next 90 minutes, that phone's going to go on the charger and live in my room. That's it. And I'm going to be in my office. Yeah.
I think that's really smart. Yeah. And if you're the kind of person, if you're logged into the same Apple ID on your MacBook and on your phone and all that stuff, you're getting text messages and phone calls to your computer while you're editing, take it off. I don't know, log out, something, get it off of there, because distractions are going to be your biggest enemy when trying to get into this flow state. I feel too, a lot of people say to not do this, and I understand why, but I don't listen to them. I actually feel really inspired by looking at other people's work. So
I really do too.
Yeah. I'll watch my favorite filmmakers stuff, or if you're a photographer, go peruse your favorite photographer's stuff. And to me, it almost feels like a warm up. I'm flexing those muscles, getting the juices flowing just by consuming the content. And then I feel like what I put out is easier. It's not starting from scratch. It's almost I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
yeah, no, I love it. It's I love that. I want to be better about not editing in a linear. I want to be better about that. And so a lot of times by consuming the work of filmmakers who don't film in a linear pattern, I just by nature do, it really helps me think outside the box in doing that. Okay, this is also good. I hope you guys are loving this. So, my third thing that I have written down on how I stay sane while being a work from home entrepreneur is that I have outsourced life tasks. I don't really outsource a lot of my business tasks. I don't have a virtual assistant. I don't outsource my editing. I love editing. I've talked about that before. I don't outsource, I don't know what else it could be that I outsource. But I love working on my business and things. That gives me so much life. But I have chosen to outsource more and more of just personal things. So, Taylor, you mentioned that you have a house cleaner that comes twice a week.
Oh,
I,
I wish every other week.
oh,
It should be
sorry,
twice a week though. I should
twice a month.
upgrade.
Yes, twice a month. Um, and I actually have a personal assistant that helps me with my personal things. So I don't have a virtual assistant for my business, but I have a personal assistant that helps 5 hours a week, so 20 hours a month. And she helps me with life tasks, like things that just can kind of get away from me that bog me down in life. So for example, like our kids just started school. And as you know, Taylor, sorry if you guys are watching on YouTube, I got so dark. It's like the cloudiest day, or like clouds in the sky. But you know how you get like your kids' school calendar and stuff? So I had her take the school calendar because Sloan goes to a different school than Micah does. And so they both have different calendars on like who gets out early dismissal days and like who doesn't have school that day and like all that stuff. So I had basically her put it down in my Google Calendar like through the next year. And that was so helpful because that's just going to help us with like recording, like when we can do podcast guests, when Paul and I can book corporate shoots, vacation things, all that. So that's just one example. And that's been so helpful for me. And then we actually brought in a fairly full-time nanny for our youngest son, Levi, who is about 4.5 months now. And she's with us Monday through Thursday from 8 to 2. And those are my dedicated work hours when I can work like, and then she'll stay if we have a corporate shoot. She'll like have more of a complete day. So what I'm getting at here is that yes, we've outsourced quite a few things. I mean, the list could go on. We have like people now we're doing the whole like the car washers come to your house. It feels very bougie, but it is so helpful. And then I'm even kind of doing like the mobile pet groomer that comes to like, and so it's more expensive, right? But I am in like a full convenience mode with how crazy life is with a 5-year-old, a 2-year-old, and a 4-month-old. Like I am going full for I value my time more than I value money because of course these are all expenses. And so that's what you'll always kind of like wrestle with is like you can either value your time or you can value your money. And right now I'm in a big I value my time more than I value money.
Yeah. I'm trying to think. So I think the idea of outsourcing is just like so much more straightforward when it comes to businesses because it's like an editor or a VA or social media manager or whatever. And I think that you just like touched on such a good point. It's like, what do you want to be spending your time doing? For you, it's editing. For me, I don't love editing, but I haven't found an editor that I feel like I quite jive with yet. I mean, maybe if like the perfect match came along, I would hop on that opportunity for sure. But like I love Instacart. I feel like that's like outsourcing your groceries instead of spending an hour wading through Costco and then the horrible parking lot and then like you guys, like what anxiety Costco gives me. Just like whatever, pay the extra 15% that they tack on each item, which like is totally inconvenient.
You're valuing your time more than you're valuing your money. Like it just is what it is.
Walk outside and have all my groceries sitting there waiting for me. I'm trying to think of other things too that people can outsource that's maybe more like tangible. I think the mobile pet groomers is a good one. Anything that's like, I think a lot of times right now on TikTok, people are talking about like the mental load. Like, it's not necessarily the actual like time or like energy that it takes to do something. Sometimes it's more of like the mental load and like the dreading and having to keep track of things and having to like be responsible for it. That feels like a lot. And I feel like even if it's just helping the mental load, it's worth like exploring whether or not it's something you want to pursue in your life. I think like a meal prep service is a great one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I'm trying to think, like, those are, I feel like food just like takes so much time out of our days,
Really,
like as
it
humans.
does. I mean, okay, let's even talk about like with food stuff. It's like right now I'm in the method where it's like I'm buying the frozen, pre-cut, pre-peeled sweet potatoes rather than buying the sweet potato that's probably a lot less expensive, but I'm in full convenience, I value my time.
Yeah,
mode.
like in the produce section, they'll have like chopped onions. Like it's like
Yeah.
how much time does it actually take you to chop an onion? Like a minute. But like all those minutes saved stacks up, and then now that's all those minutes you can spend with your family or whatever it is you like to do if you're not a parent. So yeah, I think we get the question a lot, you guys, like so many times, like, how do you do it all? And Kelley and I are always like, we don't.
We don't do it all.
We don't do it
outsource
all.
a lot in our lives, because the thing here is that can you bet? That's the other important thing. Can you bet on yourself that you can make the money to make up for that? Because I know that I can. I know that I can say, I can hire this service, and in the time that it would have taken me, I can find ways to move the needle in my business just an inch more. I can work on a teaser that I'm going to post on Instagram that may get the attention of a planner, catch their eye. There's always things that I could be doing to be able to do that. And so like, I can bet on myself that like the money can always be generated there. So that's why I'm making the investment on those luxuries, so that, and it also kind of like pushes me, like I need to make this worth it. I'm paying this much money in childcare. I need to sit down and get my butt in the seat and edit and like get these films out or work on my website or, show up on social media that day in a way that I haven't done before. So I think it's like a great motivator.
Yeah, definitely. I think that being overwhelmed, like, is the detriment to us all. Like, so many of us get into that, like, fight, flight, or freeze, and like most of us like freeze if we feel overwhelmed. And then you hear of what is it, like functional? No, do you know the word I'm looking for? It's like executive function. Like you lose like that executive functionality where it's like you are actually like a high achiever. Like we all are. If you're listening to this podcast, you're a high achiever. But if you find yourself like sitting on the couch, like watching Netflix when you know you should be doing things, like you're in that like freeze state, probably because you're extremely overwhelmed. So maybe you do all of the things we mentioned in this episode. You go for a walk. You pick up your house, and like maybe that clean space helps you. You offload a responsibility in your personal life just to free up those few minutes and that like mental space so that you can focus on what you need to be focusing on. I feel like all these things just really add up, they compound. And if you want to win in this game called business, then you have to enjoy it. And there's no quicker road to burnout than just like dreading it and feeling overwhelmed and like you don't want to even like open your laptop for the day, right? So hopefully this episode of like staying sane helps spark some ideas in you. If you're listening to this, go head over to Instagram at The Level Up Co. Shoot us a DM and let us know what you are doing this week as you're listening to this to stay sane, to make it through this busy season, to keep your head in the game. Let us know. We would love to hear what you're doing, and maybe we'll share that on a future episode as well. I feel like our community is so smart, Kelley. They have so many great ideas.
Yeah. Yep, it's so true. And we love seeing you in the DMs, guys. So just blow us up over there. And as we mentioned a few weeks ago, we love being in relationship with you guys. We want this to feel like a two-way relationship, that we're not just talking at you guys, that we are hearing from you as well. So share what you're loving on the podcast, share when you're listening, and share what you're up to this week in taking care of yourself.
Thank you for joining us in today's conversation. Please help us reach more filmmakers and photographers like you by taking a screenshot and sharing it to social media. And don't forget to tag us at The Level Up Co.
And join us again next week, same time, same place, as we continue to level up the industry together.